What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning back in. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick Eden, and you are locked into another episode of Morning Cup of Merch. And so, if you guys are watching the YouTube version of this, you might notice something different. Normally, when I do my introduction, I have my Morning Cup of Merch cup. I usually have one of my branded shirts. Obviously, I have my branded hat on. But I thought I'd switch it up just a little bit, do a little something different. And so I'm really in the mood today to shout out other content creators. And so two content creators that I want to shout out are Morgan Jackson. I will actually link their channels under the YouTube version of this. So Morgan Jackson, who is a content creator on YouTube, does a lot of great things dealing with reaction videos for music, fashion, all these other types of things. Also a print-on-demand seller. And I will also say that this came from Spring. Her store is through Spring, so it also gave me a chance to look at some other products that came from other creators. So shout out to Morgan for her Gang Gang coffee mug. And also the shirt I'm wearing is actually a Bella Canvas 3000, I believe. And this is by the comedian CT. I'll also link his channel at the bottom. It says Raised by 90s R&B. CT is one of my favorite content creators. Does a lot of hilarious stuff. Is a great stand-up comedian, writer, all that kind of stuff. So over the few weeks that we're doing this, what I'll be doing is from time to time, I'll be going out and shouting out other content creators, purchasing their stuff. So if you are a content creator and you'd like to maybe see your products on this show, reach out to me, send me the link. You know, I want to support as many people as I can because it's not always easy. I always get, I'm very brand conscious, right? I try to stay on brand as much as possible. But it's always weird to me, and just being completely honest, when someone buys my stuff. And I don't mean my stuff like, okay, I put a design up on Amazon, somebody went and bought it, you know, this great keywording, a great design in a popular niche. That's one thing. That's something that we all do, right? I mean things like someone buying my Coffee Crew shirt, like somebody just did yesterday. So whoever bought that Coffee Crew shirt, thank you so much. And please send me a picture of you with it so I can actually feature you. But, you know, someone buys a Coffee Crew shirt, someone buys a Press to Go button shirt, and I'm just like, wow, or a Morning Cup of Merch mug. I'm like, wow. So for me, it's a little different when people are buying from me as a personality and not so much me as keywording and putting things up on Redbubble, Etsy, or Amazon. So just wanted to give that quick shout out to that person who bought, anybody who's ever bought stuff from me, and shout out to all the content creators. What we do is not easy. It's time consuming. There's shooting, there's editing, there's the upload process, there's promoting it, and it doesn't always bring back the best results. So want to shout out all the content creators out there. Really appreciate everything that you do. And you know, if it wasn't for a lot of the content creators, I wouldn't be doing what I do now. So anyway, kind of on that same vein, just giving a couple of updates. So guys, Q4 is right around the corner. It's right around the corner. This is the time. You should be doing, if you're going to get into the holiday portions of these things, you should really be doing your holiday designs now and uploading them now. And that's really what the subject of this show is today. And that is capitalizing on the holidays that no one else is really thinking about. So when it comes to holidays, people often think of the same thing, especially going into Q4. You've got Halloween, you've got Thanksgiving, you've got Christmas. And those are great, and they do well. They really do. I've got designs up there, and I've got designs that I've had up since 2017, and they still do well during those times, especially Halloween. And that's great. They're very, very hard to crack through, notoriously hard to crack through. And that's something that you should be thinking about as you decide, okay, what type of holidays am I getting into? But you also have to think about some of the lesser known holidays and the more, I don't want to call them obscure holidays, but these things also sell. And I've sold in those. For instance, one of the things that you can be selling for during Christmas, not just Christmas, but there's Hanukkah, there's Kwanzaa, there's so many different holidays that are not necessarily lesser known, just not as widely celebrated as the other ones. I will say when it comes to doing things that are based around culture, like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, that you want to make sure that you are respectful in your research. And I think the adverse to that is that people just won't buy it. And what can really get bad about it is if your shirt goes viral for the wrong things. We saw that happen with a couple shirts maybe like 2 years ago for Juneteenth, where it was just not the best. I don't think that they went into it with any malice, but I think just kind of not really thinking and researching on that day, it was a bad look. So to give you an example, and when I say obscure holidays, I don't always mean cultural things. If you don't want to get into that portion of it, that's totally fine. There's a lot of stuff from a culture standpoint that I just won't touch, and I won't touch it for that reason. I don't know about the culture. I don't want to disrespect it. I want to be respectful of those within the culture who know it and are designing for it, and let that money be theirs. But that's just me. So there are other obscure holidays that you can think of, especially in Q4, things that come up that you might not necessarily know or might not necessarily think that anybody is celebrating, but they are. So for example, October 1st is International Coffee Day. Yep, y'all know. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm definitely doing something for International Coffee Day. I might be doing a special show for International Coffee Day. Like, it's Morning Cup of Merch. What do you expect? Another one is Fruit at Work Day. Now, I don't think that anybody's gonna buy a shirt that says Fruit at Work Day, but you never know. You just kind of have to dig into it. I mean, it's like 5 or 6 holidays on October 1st alone. And there are some things that you can actually target. This is the time where I would probably say, when it comes to the obscure holidays, you don't want to just throw them up on Amazon or wherever your platform is and just leave them there. Those are the times that if you can really market it, you can actually get something to go viral, because the people who celebrate those obscure holidays are really into them. And the great thing about it is when they find a shirt or some type of swag that represents that holiday for them, they really dig into it. So for instance, October 1st is also International Music Day. So what I would probably do in a situation like that is I would go and I would create several designs. Let's say it's R&B. And I say that because I have a shirt that says Raised by 90s R&B. But let's say it's R&B. International Music Day, what I would probably do is I would do some type of shirt with a DJ, International Music Day 2021, something that denotes R&B, and then I would do some very country specific things, because there are people in Switzerland and France and England and Germany and all these places that love R&B music that, you know, would celebrate on that day. To them, it's international. To us, it's domestic. So I would do that and kind of target that, and maybe do a few other things in terms of marketing, like going to Pinterest and creating a board that's all about international R&B, and just building up on that board, sharing that board, and start to add some of those products in. And Pinterest is a great way, and I think I'm actually going to do an entire show about marketing on Pinterest. But Pinterest is a great way for some long-term sustained sales. I still have boards that get me sales for my Redbubble listings and have done so for years. I'll give you an example. Pumpkin spice latte is ridiculously popular, especially in the fall. So for me, I've had this one board on Pinterest about pumpkin spice latte for the last 4 years. And my listings have been selling every time I add. Sometimes I don't even touch it, but when I add a listing, you can see the difference, because the board has become so popular that people who love pumpkin spice latte, and it's a lot of y'all out there, I don't understand why the hell you like it, but I mean, to each his own. Some people don't like coffee. Why the hell are you on my page? Anyway, so for the people who like pumpkin spice latte, they like everything about it. They like the different recipes for drinks. They like the different things that they can put it in for different snacks. And they also like to wear the swag. And so incorporating my listings into those recipes, into those DIY tips for pumpkin spice latte, it's just, you're exposing yourself to a whole nother set of people who may not have gone to Redbubble, or they may not have gone to Amazon. They may just really live within Pinterest, and just wherever that one particular thing takes them, that's where they're going. And so there's a real opportunity there, particularly with some of these obscure holidays, as you can call them. Another example of an obscure holiday, October 4th, is Improve Your Office Day. I know this because I'm really into DIY stuff. And so for me, how I would use that is I would probably do a shirt based on a home office. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head exactly what I would do, but I would also go back to Pinterest and I would create a board with all of these DIY tips that you can do for Office Day. And what you can actually do is drive the traffic for people who don't know October 4th is International Improve Your Office Day. And so you can do a few memes, you can share a few things in there that kind of promote that. And so as you add those DIY tips, all these different videos and pictures and stuff like that on Pinterest, you can throw in your listings, some that are just centered around DIY office, home office, centered around Improve Your Office Day. And that's a way to drive long-term success, not just for the actual holiday itself, but you can also use it to drive that niche and establish a whole new niche that continues to sell for you for years and years. I don't want to stay on so many specific ones, but I will give you another one. October 10th, and I know this because a friend of mine, a great friend of mine, long-term friend, over 20 years, is a drummer. And his favorite holiday, believe it or not, is October 10th, and it's Hug a Drummer Day. And so I think there's an opportunity there within your local market to where, let's say there's a local band, right? There's a local rock, jazz, blues, R&B, gospel band, whatever the case may be. I would actually make some shirts that are centered around that. Hug a Drummer Day. I would reach out to those drummers. I would actually take the time and purchase those in their size, get them to them, have them take some pictures with it. They're going to put it on their social. You're going to put it on your social, build something around it. And now you got an opportunity to where people who are fans of those drummers and those bands will buy that on Hug a Drummer Day. Hey, and you could even turn it into a fundraiser, right? Look, we're raising money for this band. They're doing great. We want to get this drummer a new drum head. So, and this is where you can really get into these things where you're not just so centered on Amazon. You can do it on Teespring. You can do it through Shopify. You can do it through Wix or Squarespace, whatever the case may be. Hell, you can do it on Facebook Marketplace. But you can raise the money and say a portion of the proceeds is going to be to get a new cymbal set for our favorite drummer of this band, or new sticks for these 5 drummers, whatever the case may be. And you have an opportunity to really like hone in. It helps you to establish a relationship with that band, which could lead to further opportunities with creating the merch for that band, because band merch is ridiculously popular as a seller. It also puts you ingrained into the local scene of people who are accustomed to buying merch, accustomed to supporting local artists, and it just opens up so much. It's so much there that you can do just with Hug a Drummer Day, and that's October 10th. So I'm not just going to keep anecdotally going through individual holidays. You'd literally be here all day. But I will say there are so many opportunities that exist outside of Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas during Q4, and this is the time where you can really, truly get creative in the types of things that you do. Now, I will say this, if you're the person that can't come up with like cute phrases and funny phrases and things like that for t-shirts, then you may want to use a tool like sloganshub.org, right? And I've talked about this on past episodes of Morning Cup of Merch, but this is probably one of my favorite places to go and just kind of get inspiration and for funny phrases. Not to take the exact phrase, but use kind of that to jog your creativity. We have to get out of the habit of just taking what we see on the internet and saying, okay, I don't see it on TM Hunt, so let me just go ahead and throw it on a shirt. That's not sustainable as a business model. You have to try to be creative. There's nothing new under the sun. I get that. But on the same token, if you really push for it, you can push your mind creatively and it opens you up to a whole nother plane. I can go out and draw inspiration from anywhere because I jog my creativity like that. So for instance, you might find something related to coffee that you can take for International Coffee Day. So one of the slogans on there is wake the hell up. Seems pretty simple to the point, right? But I wouldn't use that exactly, right? Obviously coffee is about being awake, waking up, getting up early, staying up late. I would probably use something that's a little bit more popular in pop culture, right? So if it's International Coffee Day, what I would probably do is have a coffee cup. Above it, I would have International Coffee Day 2021, and at the bottom, stay woke, right? I'm probably going to do that. Don't steal my damn idea. I may edit this out. Probably will. Anyway, so, it's just things like that. You can use it to jog your creativity. That's why I like sloganshub.org. It's not an affiliate, anything like that. It's just a site that I found a couple of years ago that really helped me kind of jog what I wanted to do creatively. And it's been great for me for the last few years. Whenever I'm just feeling kind of like, I'm not really inspired to write something, I just go through, find something, and never, ever again, never, because you don't know. Some of these phrases could be trademarked. Use it as inspiration to jog your individual creativity. That is the only way that you are going to succeed in the long term when it comes to print on demand. You can copy exact phrases, you can do a derivative of the phrase, and that may be fine in the short term. Eventually, it is going to catch up with you. So, do something creatively, jog your own creative mind, and build around that. That's going to wrap it up for me today, guys. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. Click the bell for notifications so that you know when we have another episode of Morning Cup of Merch. If you hit the link tree below in the description, you will find social links for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere, and obviously the audio version of Morning Cup of Merch. Also, if you are interested in joining the coffee crew, the link is down there as well. I am starting back up on Clubhouse, and so you can find me there as well. We're going to be doing some more live research groups, which were really popular for us. And shout out to Cinquanta Cox Smith for everything that she's been doing. We're going to be kicking things back up. And also, if you would like to purchase some merch, click it. I'm still kind of weirded out about that a little bit, but I truly appreciate it. So if you would, hey, go for it. And just remember this: you can make as much money as you want to with print on demand, but you have to press the go button. Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you next time.